which is why I remain shocked over this. I still can't wrap my head around it, and after I slept on it for the night, the harder I think about it, the worse it gets. I don't understand it. In the end, it was about Kyrie and friendship, as you say.
Yeah.
But Kevin's still too young to opt for just friendship. Kevin Durant just made a huge mistake to me. And I don't understand it because, in the end, if you told me a month ago that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving would wind up signing with the Nets, I would have said, yeah, and pigs are going to fly. Because if I told you that a month ago, before we heard any of this, you would have laughed at it. It's impossible what just happened. And I'm going to remind everybody, this is for our younger viewers out there. The legacy move for Kevin Durant was obviously to go to the Knicks. If you're not going to stay with Golden State, which was on the table and you were pushing for that, you thought that would be the obvious move, right? But if, barring that, if you're going to choose somewhere else to go, it has to be the Knicks. Because I know the kids out there right now think of the Knicks as this sorry punchline of a franchise, this embarrassing laughing stock, this disaster of an unlovable loser. That's what the Knicks are in recent memory.
Yes.
Or really, for about 20 years, it's been that way.
Basically,
right?
in Kevin Durant's lifetime, Skip, he doesn't remember the Knicks like you remember the Knicks.
I got it. But just for the record, they are the biggest sleeping giant in all of sports. There's nothing close to those Knicks. You could argue the Cubs used to be the Knicks, but this is the Knicks. They play in the most hallowed arena in all of sports, and it ain't even close, right? It is the Mecca. It is Madison Square Garden. It is entertainment personified because of all the superstars in all forms of entertainment who have played the palace that is Madison Square Garden. Right. Everybody wants to go there. Every opponent wants to have his best game at Madison Square Garden. I will give you, they have the worst owner in sports, but that has been slightly canceled by a very good coach in David Fizdale.
Yeah, I like Fizz.
And if you look at Scott Perry's track record, they're fairly new GM. He's been there 2 years. He has a resume behind him. He helped build the Pistons championship team and that run that they had.
Yes.
Okay, so I respect him, and I respect what they could be, and I don't respect the fact that Kevin said no to this. And I get it, and ESPN reported that they wouldn't offer the max to Kevin Durant because of injury history. I'm going to get to that in just a minute because you did make a strong point. He does have injury history, and he's a pretty big risk right now. Okay, I get that part. But it also came clear later in the evening that Kevin Durant and Kyrie took less to go to the Nets so that they could get their other friend, if we can go banana boat for those three guys. They haven't actually ridden a banana boat to my knowledge, but they all belong on a banana boat. Those three do. DeAndre Jordan, who played briefly with the Knicks last year, but they had to get him under the cap at $10 million, which is probably more than he's worth right now, but he's their friend.
Right.
So to get him under, they all took, those two took a little less.
Right.
Okay, so would that mitigate the circumstance a little bit? The Knicks are saying, well, we can't, Kevin, go to the max. Well, if I'm Kevin Durant, I don't care how much they pay me because, as you have pointed out many times, he has so many lucrative investments in Silicon Valley that remain in operation. Just because he's an absentee owner now doesn't mean anything. He's fine. He can run them from a distance, right? And he has made so much money in his career. This was legacy. This is your chance to go there and revive a sleeping giant that hasn't won a championship since 1973. This was your chance to win another championship with the Knicks that would obliterate all the criticism you got for leaving Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City to join forces with the guys that had just come from 3-1 down to beat you, Steph, Clay, Draymond, right?
Yes.
This is a chance. If you won a couple of championships with the Knicks, you'd need Kyrie along also, but if you had both chosen the Knicks, you could have started making the case in the end that you were the second best player in the history of basketball to Michael Jordan. That's how big an opportunity you just left on the table for what?
You know what it's for?
I think it's just friendship. No, seriously.
That's what it's about.
I think it's what he never could connect with in Golden State. He went there thinking, maybe I'll become friends with Steph, and they couldn't become friends, right?
But we're going to talk about that a little later.
Okay, we're going to talk about it later, but they never quite clicked. And he went there thinking, maybe Draymond will become my best friend. And they had a terrible falling out, which led to some terrible comments made by Draymond. So he felt like he kind of had to go his own way last year in Golden State, right?
Yeah.
He was a man on an island, and sometimes you could see it in the way they played or didn't play, right? Okay, so he's saying, at this stage of my career, I opt for Kyrie and DeAndre. Well, here's the shock to me. I think Kyrie is the alpha here, because we kept hearing for, I don't know, a couple of weeks that it was nets, nets, nets for Kyrie. And I kept thinking, Kyrie, are you going to go this alone? Because I couldn't imagine Kevin also joining the Nets. I thought it was going to be Kyrie or bust for the Nets. Okay, so help me out here. I think it was Kyrie who said, Kevin, we got to go Nets. Because of what? You're kind of going to the Clippers, right? You're going to a team that was 42-40. You said they have better pieces, and they do have a little better pieces, but they're not exactly a championship waiting to happen right now, right?
No, I just think the thing is that it would take longer for the Knicks to get those pieces. The Knicks, they put all the eggs, they were going to get Zion. They really thought they were going to get Zion, Skip, and that didn't happen. And so now they created all this cap space. They traded Porzingis. They got rid of the Tim Hardaway Jr. contract to open up all this cap space. Basically, they wanted 2 or 3 guys. They wanted Kyrie, KD, and Kawhi. And come to find out, Skip, they don't get the number 1 overall draft pick. They don't get Kyrie. They don't get Kawhi. They don't get KD. They struck out with all the Ks. I guess K's in order. So it was a flat-out disaster. And so now you're giving guys Bobby Portis and Julius Randle. And I get all that, Skip. But for me, what this tells me about Kevin Durant is that now I would rather win a title with my friends. And because after he won the first title, remember, Skip, he said, "Is that it? Is this what is? Where's the 100 member marching band? Where's the orchestra? Where's everything that comes along with this? You see what happened in Golden State, Skip? He won a title with teammates. Now he wants to win a title with friends.
Okay.
What happened is, Skip, in Golden State, you look at this. Draymond, Klay, and Steph, they grew up together. It would have been the equivalent if KD had won in OKC with him, Serge, and Russ.
I agree with that. And it never quite, the bonding never quite took place.
Because Steph and him was that different, Skip. When he got there, Steph was happily married with 2 kids. KD's coming in single.
Yep.
So it was never going to work.
So I assume he and Kyrie are so close that he listened to Kyrie, who said, let's go Nets. And I'm assuming he listened to DeAndre, who, remember, was with the Knicks last year. He played 19 out of 31 games. So he got a taste of the culture under David Fizdale.
Right.
I'm going to guess DeAndre Jordan told KD no on David Fizdale, and maybe the entire organization.
Well, I think he likes Fizdale. I just don't think he liked the organization because, remember, Skip, I think he was a DNP the last 7 games of the season.
Not surprisingly, but go ahead.
It seems like they were going in a different direction. They wanted to go young, and I'm sure DeAndre understood that.
Okay, so this feels for me a little like the choice LeBron made to come to Los Angeles. No matter if I have a co-star or not, I want to go to L.A., and you can argue with me all day until cows come home or don't come home, that LeBron chose the Lakers in part because of Hollywood, in part. And now, to me, Kevin has made a similar choice at an advanced age. He's been 12. This is 12 years. He's been 12 years in the league. He made a choice. I just want to play with my friends.
Right.
Title or no title. I'm not sure title is his priority right now. Again, Brooklyn is a little better situated to make a run with those 2 guys. But Kevin obviously can't play next year.
But what did you tell me all last week? Kevin Durant will do things that will bring fireworks where you least expect it. Kyrie marches to his own drum, his own beat. They will do things that's because everybody's thinking They're going to the Knicks. Why not go to the Knicks? The Knicks is so hallowed. The Madison Square Garden, the biggest acts perform there. Why wouldn't you two guys want to perform on that stage? They said, nah, we're going to Brooklyn. We're going to make Brooklyn a stage like the Knicks. That's how they think, Skip. Because you know when you get to that level, you have supreme confidence in your ability and what you can and can't do.
All right, back to the Knicks. If I ran the Knicks, would I have plunged and offered Kevin Durant the max? You better believe I would have, because you just have to.
Yes.
You got rid of Porzingis to do this.
Yes.
Just do it.
Yes.
Do you have legit concerns about it? You better believe you do, because what happened to DeMarcus Cousins? He came back after a year, and yet all the Warriors said he never looked right all of last year. He couldn't run up and down the floor, couldn't get back in shape, and he often complained that his foot on the Achilles side hurt him. We saw flashes of brilliance in the finals, but it could only be for 4 minutes here and 5 minutes here. Right?
Yes.
Is that going to be the Kevin Durant we see in 2 years? Might he need a whole year back to get right?
Oh, I believe
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.